Good afternoon. I am so excited for just to see so many people on the call. I know that a lot of times, our lunch break is very precious to us, so I don't take it lightly that you guys have all joined in to sign up for the lunch break coaching call. So I have it as 30 minutes, so we want to stick really close to the time so you guys can get back to your day and do what you're doing. But again, I really, really appreciate you, and I'm so excited for what I have to share. Anytime I have the opportunity to share, it's a big deal to me because I don't take it lightly. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. So for those of you who don't know me, I would like to introduce myself. I am Allison T. Moore, and I'm better known as the Prison Break Coach. I am known as the Prison Break Coach because I developed a system, and it's called the Prison Break Success System, and it shows women how to get out of prison. And that came from my very own personal prison break. So I work with professional women just like yourselves, and most of the professional women that I work with, they struggle with life setbacks. And I help them break free from their mental prison so that they can experience true freedom spiritually, relationally, professionally, and emotionally. So bottom line is, I had my own experience of being in prison. And while I was in a physical prison, I also recognized that I had been in a mental prison of my own making way before I stood before a judge and got sentenced to prison. So I know what that's like. And I came up with today's topic, which is 5 simple strategies to break procrastination, prioritize your time, find your place of fulfillment and flow to make it happen in just 1 month. And that it is whatever that it is for you. And it was really a big deal because when I think about like what I want to share and the different topics that I want to talk about, I come to that place by asking other people or maybe asking my clients. So I went through the census of, my coaching clients and then even maybe just sitting down with lunch with girlfriends or just in our regular conversations, texting or talking. And I realized that, you guys, 100% of the time, one of the biggest challenges that we experience as women more specifically is just that procrastination thing. Like, why do we procrastinate? How do we get past it? And it's like we self-admit, like we say all the time, I'm a procrastinator. Oh, I know I should have gotten that done and I didn't get it done. So today you're gonna get some great tips on how to do that. Because that was me. Like, I was the biggest procrastinator ever. And I'm not perfect, so I do find myself sometimes getting into that little wedge of wanting to procrastinate for different reasons. But I've learned a way to get myself out of that. And I understood that time is like the one thing that we all start out with that's the same. Like, how you can say, your situation, you're a single mom or, you work 2 jobs or, you always, you find these excuses or these reasons why you may not be experiencing the success that you desire, but you see other people that do it. So I went across the board and I wanted to find out what is the one thing that we all have. Like, some of us have more education than others. Some of us are, more organized than others. But what do we all start out with that we all have this even playing field across the board? And I realized it was time. Time is that finite thing. Everybody gets the same 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Once a minute or an hour passed for me, it's passed for you. So, and once it's gone forever. So I recognized that when I got out of this procrastination and I started prioritizing my time, I really found my place of fulfillment and my flow, because I recognized in any way to establish this sense of richness that your life requires, you have to acknowledge time as a limitation. And then you have to begin to consciously decide how you're going to invest each moment that you've been given. And this is like very close to me and very near and dear to me because I had never really thought about time. Most of us don't. It's one of those things that we take for granted. But when I got sentenced to prison and I stood before a judge and basically he determined my fate, I was denied time to get my affairs in order. You know, I'm handcuffed and shackled, and I was sentenced to time. So physically, I was sentenced to 7 years in prison. That's a lot of time. I didn't add up the numbers or the days or the hours, but being in that situation, I had almost nothing but time. Being locked down 23 out of 24 hours of the day gave me a lot of time to put things in perspective. So I recognized that I needed to change. And I needed to learn how to use my time even in there wisely because I didn't have the outside distractions. But more importantly, what was I going to do with my time when I got back out into the free world and when I had those opportunities that I passed up when I was free already? Does that make sense? So it's like this place where I just made this commitment. I made a commitment to doing things differently, to never allow anyone to determine my fate or my freedom or to even impose on my time. You know, I made the decision to be extraordinary, to be this person that I was created to be and not to let anything get in my way. And once I knew that I had the same opportunity and time as other people that I had witnessed being successful, then there was really no excuse. So I wanted everyone to experience that same freedom. I wanted everyone to be delivered from this bondage of the clock and make firm commitments to help them and to help you, which is why you're here. So I appreciate you taking the time. But these are the types of things that you have to start to manage so that you understand, you know, by the end of the week you're feeling overwhelmed and frazzled and frustrated, and then you feel like you can't really get control over what's going on in your life. So if that sounds like you and that sounds familiar, I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. You just need a simple strategy that supports you in using your moments more proactively. So I'm here to do that. And I think that when I realized the time factor, I had to think of some things that I was just tired of happening in my life. You know, I was tired of having a negative balance in my checking account. I was just fed up with, you know, just seeing other people be successful, and I felt like I was stuck. I was getting sick and tired of having my day end, and I felt like I didn't get anything done, and I just wasted most of my day. So I had to be more conscious about how I started spending my time. So there's 5 simple strategies to break the procrastination, prioritize your time, find your place of fulfillment and flow to make it happen in just 1 month. So as we're having this discussion, I want you to start thinking about what that it is for you. Each person on this call has a different it, and it could be as big or as simple as you want it to be. But you have to know what it is. So you keeping that in mind, the first thing that you have to know is you have to know what you want. You have to be very clear about what it is that you want and being very specific about it. Not just saying, you know, I want to lose weight. You know, that's one that we kind of all find ourselves going back and forth on. So that's very simple to say that I want to lose weight. But be very specific about it. You gotta be able to see it. You have to know what that body looks like at the size that you want it to be. That's why you use different tools of photos, or you have someone in your mind. You know how you all have somebody in your mind that you just love the way they look, or they look in shape. You're like, oh yeah, I love the way she looks. I want to look like that. So that's kind of how you have to do it. You have to know exactly how much weight you want to lose. It's not enough to just say I want to lose weight because you're thinking that, you know, you could lose a pound, but you still lost weight, so you really got what you wanted. So learn to be very specific and know what it is that you want. The second thing that you have to know is why you want it. And this is a big one, and it's kind of funny because a lot of times what we do is we just think we want that physical, that tangible thing. You know, so if we're using weight as an example, I'm saying that I want to lose weight. But why do you want to lose weight? you have to get to the bottom line of the why, and I have some great exercises that shows women how to get to that why. And by the time you get done with digging deeper as to knowing why you want it, it's more than just losing weight to look good. You know, sometimes it brings you to a place of you just want to have a sense of peace and fulfillment, or you want to make your family proud, or you want to be healthy and live beyond 100 years. So those are the things that you have to tap into and know why you want it. And then the third thing that you have to know is that your mistakes don't matter. You know, we've all been in situations where we totally jacked it up, totally screwed it up. Maybe you haven't done the things that you wanted to do the way that you did it. And we go through this process of beating ourselves up with it over and over again. It's like, I should have did this, I should have did that. It's like you just got to start fresh. Your mistakes don't matter. I'm living proof of that. I don't let my status hold me back from doing anything. I create my own way, and I do that by understanding that, okay, that was yesterday. You know, yesterday is gone. The future is not here yet. All I have is right now. So it's those things that you do in those moments now, which, again, why your consciousness of time is so important. Your mistakes don't matter. You're going to create these priorities, and it's not going to matter that you didn't do it yet. You know, I have a lot of clients that, you know, when they're sharing with me the process that they've been through already to try to achieve some of the results that they did, they're still talking about how they've been having the same goal and the same dream for years. I mean, even when you think about it, it doesn't even have to be something so big. It doesn't have to be this big goal or this big dream. It could even be, you know, wanting to clean out your closet. I just talked with someone yesterday, and they said that they've been wanting to clean out their closet for 3 seasons now, and they haven't done it yet. So it's still something that's important to you, and it may not be this big-term goal, but it is a goal, and it's a short-time goal, something that you want to do, but you just haven't done it. So when I asked her, well, what did you do tonight? Like, how come you couldn't start it tonight? Oh, you know, the kids, and I had to go give my sister a ride from work, and the phone rang, and, you know, had to take the dog out, and then by that time it's time to make dinner, and then it's time for baths and bed, and my husband wouldn't help me. It's like all of these things got in the way. The next day comes, and you have now wasted an opportunity to do those things. So don't beat yourself up because you haven't done it yet, and don't beat yourself up because it's been this long and you still haven't done it. It doesn't matter. Start fresh. You always have an opportunity to begin again, so remember that. The fourth thing you have to do is you have to know where you're going, and this is where we get into having this plan. And it's funny because the way I plan is not typically the way other people plan. So I use this technique to plan sort of backwards, where I don't know the actual steps to get there, but I know what it looks like at the end. And, I mean, it's a phenomenal way to live because you know where you're going. You don't limit yourself based on what your current situation is or looks like. So let's just say, you know, it's what I want to do is I want to start a business, okay? And if I develop a plan in my mind, well, okay, I have to have 5 investors, and I need $10,000, and I need a business checking account, and I need a business plan, so you have all these things that you need. So what do you think is going to happen when good old procrastination gets into your mind and prioritizing your time? Because that's so big of a task. You never really get started because you're thinking of all the things that you already can't do. So you don't know where you're going, but you have to know where you're going as far as the bigger vision. You just have to know the steps to get there. So it's like just know, you know what you want, you know why you want it, you know your mistakes don't matter, you know where you're going. And the one that we're going to really spend some time on today is talking about you got to know how to get there. So, of course, that's where I come in because I've learned how to get there, and I want to show you how to get there. And it starts with some very simple things, and it's sort of a way to understand you've already tried everything else, right? Like you haven't broken the idea of procrastinating because if you did, you probably wouldn't be, you probably wouldn't have been intrigued by the call. So we've all been guilty of it. We've all been doing it. And It's just about setting priorities. And something else that I teach, when we start talking about priorities and values, if I asked everyone on this call, what are priorities? What's important to you? What's something that needs your attention in the present? You all would mention things, and then when I asked you how come you haven't experienced it or how come you haven't done it, if it is a priority, it's just because your actions have not lined up to commit you to your priority. So we all have them, but we finagle them. Like I shared with a client, not too long ago, she was explaining to me how it was a priority for her to travel, or she wanted to go on vacation. And I said, okay, it's a priority of yours. Well, why haven't you gone? She's like, I don't have the money. I'm like, well, it really has nothing to do with the money. So I said, well, how much is your mortgage? She was like, $2,000 a month. All right, well, don't pay your mortgage and take a vacation. I mean, by no means am I suggesting that to anyone listening, but I'm using that as an example because your priority is really maintaining a dwelling and paying your mortgage so that you have a place to live. And even though going on vacation is a priority, it has not yet ranked high enough on the list of what you do in your daily tasks to get you to that place where that vacation becomes a reality. Do you get what I'm saying? So we have to develop these personal priorities. So I'm going to help you do that today. And I want you to get a sheet of paper if you don't have one already. And you're going to list, and you don't have to do all of them. It's just I want you to get started in the process so you can feel good about putting something down that maybe you hadn't thought about before. So we're going to talk about your personal priorities. So like I said, it's something that's important to you, but when we talk about personal, it's your life experience that's designed by your personal priorities. So it could be your health, it could be your relationships, your career, your financial well-being, your spirituality, your home environment, your commitment to personal development, your ability to participate in your community. Just kind of write down like the top 5 that are very important to you in your personal life. So it's like I want to advance in my career. I want to develop my relationship or find a new relationship, or I want to live a healthier lifestyle. I would love to start my own business or earn more than I'm earning. Get closer to God, clean out the garage, whatever that is, just a personal priority. Just list 5 of them. It doesn't really have to be in any order because I don't want you to think too hard about it. I just want you to write it. Okay, so that's your personal priorities. And then I want you to list your professional priorities. Now, your professional priorities or your career, they hold a place on your priority list because it requires commitment of your time, just bottom line. So while you may not think that you have a professional priority, most of us work full-time jobs, so most of our time is dedicated to that. So eventually you can have a subset of priorities within this category just because it helps you have the whole understanding of all the things that you have to do based on the demands at work. But it's your ability to identify the most important areas to invest your time and energy in that will allow you to operate more effectively, just even in your job every day. So some examples of professional priority areas would be like maintaining inner office or industry relationships, or identifying new prospects or opportunities, managing or existing client relationships, developing new products or solutions, attending important meetings, increasing your product knowledge. You may have something that you really need to learn about in your industry and do the research. Maybe it's improving your communication skills or managing your financial resources, or maybe even just delivering on the commitments that you made. I mean, that's a big one. So you have those listed. So, like I said, you don't have to list all of them, but just for the sake of time, just list some of those professional priorities. All right, so now we're going to take a test. It's called the calendar test. So now that you've determined how you'd like to invest your time, I want you to take a look at how you're currently allocating it, okay? So you pull out your calendar, and if you have your calendar there, you can look at it. If you're on your phone and you can't view your calendar, that's fine. Just take notes or listen to the call again and go to your calendar. But I want you to pull out your calendar. This is phenomenal for me. This is really when it clicked for me, when I realized how I spent my time. And I guarantee you, if you even take hold of this a little bit, oh, my gosh, that's how I got to the point where I only filter in things that are a priority to me, and the other things kind of take the back seat. And that's how I'm able to achieve extraordinary results in a very short period of time. I make a list of some things that I want to do for the month, and by the end of the month, they're done because I've done this calendar test. So I encourage you to start doing it. So I want you to pull out your calendar, look at the commitments that you made maybe over the next 4 weeks. And I want you to assign each committed activity to one priority category that you just established. So, and if the activity does not support any of your priorities that you already listed, I want you to write beside it or put a line under it or something and just say not prioritized. So, again, you got your calendar, you have your priority list. If you said that you wanted to, save money, but in your calendar it says shopping spree, then that would be not prioritized, if that makes sense. Okay, then you look at this list, and now you have to take stock. And I want you to look at how many of the items that you've committed yourself to actually support your priorities. This blew my mind, and it usually blows the mind of people who do the test. How many support your priorities and how many don't? In most cases, a lot of the stuff that we're committing ourselves to or that you have committed yourself to don't get you closer to the things that you consider a priority. That's where your time is wasted. Most people just it's not common that 50% or more of the activities that you have committed to do not support your highest priorities. So clarity about this is the first step. So you've identified what is happening with your time. It's insane. And if you take it to the next step and you start adding up the hours and you add up over the next 4 weeks how many hours you spend doing the things that have nothing to do with your priority, you'll see why you're so far away from it. So what I want you to do and what I want you to start doing, and this is just the beginning because there's so much more, and, of course, we only have 30 minutes, is start to target those time wasters. Like, where are you spending the time that doesn't serve you? Are you volunteer for activities just because you think you should or somebody said it's a good idea? Or are you getting roped into participating in projects or attending social events because you aren't comfortable saying no? Do you go from one day to the next without any real commitments about how you invest your time? That's big. Most of the time we don't even know, you have a day off. I have people say, I have a day off. I don't know what to do. Or I don't have the kids this weekend, and I'm just, lost. I just want to rest or relax. And nothing wrong with R&R. I do it all the time. But could there be times that you're wasting? Because, remember, we all get the same amount of time in a day. And the people who are most successful are ones who have prioritized their time, and they've nailed it down. That's what I do. I nail it down, nail down success. You put that into a category, and then you end up doing more of only what you want. And the things that you should do, they take the back burner, and once you've committed to your own priorities, where you put yourself first, everything else falls into place. I can make a guarantee on that. I'd be anxious to hear some of the testimonials of even just if you just tried it for the week. So, I hope that you got some really good nuggets, But I want you to start thinking about if you look at your life 12 months down the road and you haven't figured out how to prioritize your time. You haven't solved this problem of procrastination. Here's what it's going to look like. You're going to be still pulling up to that job, being so frazzled because you don't even know what's going on. You'll still not take that vacation, be overwhelmed and frustrated at the end of your day, getting mad at people because you didn't have time to do the things that you wanted to do. Like you have the ability to change your future, and the future that you change for yourself naturally changes the situation for other people around you. I mean, your family, number one, the people that you're connected to. If you get this nailed down and you're this person who is committed to prioritizing and breaking this procrastination, it's phenomenal. So what does that mean? What does that mean if you still find yourself in the same place in 12 months? How does that look for you? I know for me it was not good. It's just like being in prison. It's just like, not being able to escape the day-to-day and the same mundane task over and over, but it's living your life with purpose, setting priorities and knowing what it is that you want to do and having every moment of your day. And I'm not saying micromanage and overdo it on the time thing. I'm saying recognize that the more you allocate time specifically to the things that you have a priority over, all that other stuff, you'll start getting comfortable with saying no. I am so good at saying no right now. And it's life-changing. It's life-changing. Like I can say, you know what, I really can't commit to that. We're committing to projects just because people think we should, or we are upset because we don't know what someone's going to say about us. A lot of people say that they don't have the time to do things. That's not true. What's going to change if you don't find the time? Nothing. So I hope that, these strategies have helped you. I hope that it's able to, take you to the next level. Some of you got exactly what you needed on this call. You're going to rearrange your calendar. You're going to be committed to breaking procrastination, prioritizing your time. You're going to be able to say no to people. You're going to walk away, and it's going to be, like just life bliss. But I also know that some of you probably really want to master it. And I consider myself a master at this prioritizing time. People that know me, they laugh. They think it's funny. They don't know how I get so much done. It's because I've targeted the time wasters, and they don't exist in my daily calendar. And I have more time to do the things that I love doing and what I want to do, as opposed to doing the things that people think I should be doing. You want to master it. So there's a couple of different ways, and this call will help you kind of understand the ways that we can take this to the next level and master this breaking procrastination and prioritizing your time. Because we only had about 20, 30 minutes to share. So I want you to consider this. Consider what your life would be like if you don't master this. And if you find yourself in the next, you may not even think you need it today, but now that I've mentioned it to you, it's at the forefront of your thinking, and you're going to be thinking more about this time thing. So let's just say you don't get it handled, and you still keep wasting time, and you don't know those little other things to kind of make this happen. So I created a program, of course, because I knew that if every client of mine and every person that I talk to in my day-to-day life, in just general conversation and in my professional and personal life, that prioritizing and procrastinating was number one, that means that we need to dig into this a little bit deeper. So I've created 2 amazing programs, and I want to give you an opportunity to be a part of that. And the great thing about the programs that I create is they're limited to a certain number of people, because it allows me to get a little bit more intimate with the group, and which is why I started the Prison Break group coaching call, which is what you are on today. So you get these little nuggets, quick midday inspiration. You can take something and act with it, but you want more. You need to go deeper. So I have a Prison Break coaching group, and what's great about that is it takes you a little bit deeper, and every month we're going to explore another area. So just like how I do in my personal life, every 30 days I select something that I want to work on, and I do it. I got clarity about where I'm headed, and I know how to get there. Every 30 days I change that, so I wanted to share that with you. So for only $47 a month, you can become a client in our private coaching Prison Break network. And that's going to offer you new topics every month for personal development, outstanding daily inspirational audios, a workbook for every topic to track your progress, 2 monthly group coaching calls led by moi, the certified Prison Break life coach, Allison T. Moore, a membership into our private Facebook group with Q&A. So that's a place where you can kind of get personal and Q&A, and a lot of times things are so much better when you have it in a group because you get other people to share and their expertise and their experience, and you'll find out that you're not the only one that has this problem. This is Allison T. Moore, your prison break coach, helping you to go from ordinary to extraordinary. Please visit our website at www.allisontmore.com.